supplementary registers, address list, documents register, resource management. In RAST Win, there is a list of owners' sites that identify the owner of the database. In the Office database, there will normally be one site and multiple plant IDs, vessels installed. In RAST Win, there is a plan of technical accounts to identify functions or locations on each plant vessel. The basic numbers for the plan of technical account is the SFI group system, but the company can also generate its own technical account structure. In the supplementary submenu vessel, we insert the vessel's unique ID, called Plant ID, and main particulars for the vessel, such as vessel name, owner, manager, etc. The vessel ID is connected to a plan of technical account, vessel class and owner, site ID. Vessels may be grouped in classes to ease cross-vessel functionality. Comparison reports and cross-vessel inventory functions are good examples of the benefits of grouping vessels. In RAST Win, there is a currency list that may be relevant to the price of spare parts, purchase orders and invoices. Normally, the currency list is dated in the centralized database, that is Office, and updates the ship's database through normal data transfer. The currency rated 1 is the default currency used by the company. The exchange rates of other currencies should be based upon the default currency. In RAST Win, there are finance accounts, such as cost types lists, which are related to spare parts, maintenance, consumables, docking, etc. The finance accounts are maintained by the company. The list shows the lead department code and the department name that we use in RAST Win. In RAST Win, we operate with different job identification lists that are related to jobs and work planning. RAST Win has 3 main facilities for the identification of jobs. Job types means the type of jobs to be performed, such as overhaul, safety procedures, etc. It is defined by the user and should be implemented according to company's policies. Job types are used for planning purposes. Job reasons means reasons why the jobs have to be done, for example malfunction, heavy weather damage, external conditions, etc. Job reasons are normally used for planning purposes, but can also be used to retrieve past history of parts and repairs. Job conditions means the operational condition that must be present on the vessel or the equipment before the job can be performed. For example, to being dry docked to overhaul bottom valves. These three facilities provide valuable information on type of job to be carried out, job types, why the job has to be carried out, job reasons, necessary operational condition that must be present, job condition. In RAST Win, we operate with a list of standard texts. The standard text could be either a part of the company QA manuals or explain a given job, such as calibrating a transceiver. The standard texts may be connected to jobs and work orders and copied into free text fields throughout the system. A standard text may also be in the form of a table, for instance for the registration of measurements, as the main engine crankshaft deflection. A standard text may be used for different purposes in the program. To decide which texts may be used in different modules, a code type may be entered to each text to facilitate easy search. The screen shows a list of standard text codes with descriptions. This list is available for search and selection from the code field in the standard text register by using the combo button. In RAST Win, we operate with fault codes related to work done reports. This facility is a vital part for reporting non-conformities and the deviation from normal maintenance procedures, etc. The Supplementary List submenu has free user-defined lists for the description and classification of faults and deviation. Fault groups identifies groups of different fault that may occur. For example, breakdowns, external conditions, etc. Fault codes mean specific types of faults that may or have occurred, for example, overload, heavy weather, material fatigue, etc. Here we specify the different fault results as of higher, reduced capacity, etc. In RAST Win, we operate with a condition list that is related to installed equipment. Equipment conditions are classified as being good, means that the equipment is new or newly overhauled and in good condition. Fair means that the equipment is in normal working condition. Poor means that the equipment is in poor condition and needs to be renewed or totally renovated. In RAST Win, there is a job priority list that is related to jobs and project activities. In RAST Win, we operate with a WO approval level list that is related to jobs, project activities and work orders. WO approval is a way to quality assure the work orders, which means that a senior officer must approve the work. In RAST Win, we operate with a Pio Priority list that is related to purchase orders. Normally, the priorities are: urgent means that the PO has to be delivered at first spot to repair equipment, to avoid off-hire, etc. Normal delivery means that the PO shall be delivered together with other POs for normal delivery, for example, every third month. Next docking means that the PO is ordered and the part shall be used on the next docking major repair. In RAST Win, we have a list of criticality codes that identify technical account functions critical for the vessel's safe operation in regard to subjects such as propulsion, power production, navigation, safety equipment, and cargo handling, etc. In RAST Win, we operate with material types and material class codes. These registers, under the Supplementary module, are related to spare parts and material and are used for sorting purposes and identification of different types of material, etc. RAST Win contains a document list from which documents may be linked to and easily accessed through an entry into the technical accounts, equipment and spare part lists, using the hyperlinked button. This form contains the document list, that is, a list of all defined documents in the database. The display shows a list of documents entered into the system, sorted by the document ID. Note that the file name doesn't have to be a data file reference. It may also be a reference to a manual filing system. The list has selection search facilities in which you can enter combinations of all the above-mentioned search criteria in the fixed search fields above the list. Click on the button for an ascending or descending list of documents sorted by document ID. Depending upon which search fields are filled in, the search results will be listed according to these criteria. If several search fields are filled in, the list will be sorted from the left. The primary sorting key will be the first filled search field from the left, continuing in descending priority to the right. You can drag and drop any column to customize your own searches. Resource management. To ensure the most efficient planning in regard to resource utilization, a resource management module is provided with the system. In this module, a resource list as well as an employee list is provided. In RAST Win, resource refers to an officer or ratings position such as the first engineer, second engineer, chief officer, fitter, etc. The module is linked to other lists to facilitate resource planning as well as entering of state man-hours used. The resource list has connection to the grade list for specification of different competence levels within the same resource group. Resource grades are used to specify the competence of a resource in order to connect the correct resource to a job. Such as whether or not a chief engineer has a valid authorization letter issued by the society. RAST Win contains an employee list in which employees are registered with full name, grade, resource, date hired and certificates. RAST Win contains a wage code list for the classification of man-hours entered. To administer the list of legal wage codes, click on Wage Codes in the Resource Management sub-menu under the Module menu. The wage codes should match with the wage codes in the payroll system. A yes in the base field indicates that the wage code is used for basic man-hours, which means that the hours entered under this code are for a specific work order. The hours entered under the other wage codes are not related to the previously mentioned work order, only to the employee. To show the certificate list, This window shows a list of certificates with their ID and description. The last position left in the Resource Management menu is the man-hour list. This window shows a list of certificates with their ID and description. RAST Win has an address list for registration of address details related to suppliers, manufacturers, agents, authorities, etc., as required for vessel operation. The display shows a list of registered addresses with address ID and name, customer ID, address type code, telephone, fax and email numbers, and address fields. The module has search selection facilities by entering address index, name, customer ID, type code, and/or phone number in the fixed data fields above the list, and clicking on the ascending/descending button. Double-click on address to show address details. Address is used in many program transactions. The program has facilities for direct linkage from address list and to the other database lists.